Never hang a basic doily on your wall again if you want people to actually stop and look at it. I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me for a second. You've probably spent hours, maybe even days, on a piece you were really proud of. You set it on the table or you pin it to the wall, and then nothing. Nobody says a word. Your guests walk right past it like it's not even there. And that's not because your work isn't good, it's because it blends in. Today I'm going to show you the kind of crochet decorations that don't blend in, the ones that make people stop mid-conversation, walk over, and ask, "Wait, did you make that?" These are the pieces that are actually trending for 2026, and by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which ones are worth your time and which ones you should skip completely. So here's the real problem. A lot of crochet decor out there looks dated. It looks like something from your grandma's closet. And I say that with love, because grandma taught half of us how to crochet in the first place. But there's a difference between cozy and old-fashioned, and most people never learn where that line is. They make something flat, something plain, something in colors that fade into the wall, and then they wonder why their hard work goes unnoticed. The truth is, the decorations that actually get noticed share a few things in common. They have texture you can see from across the room. They use color in a smart way instead of a safe way, and they're placed somewhere that actually makes sense, not just shoved into a random corner because that's where there was space. Let's start with the first one, because this is probably the easiest upgrade you can make this year. Forget flat doilies and go for dimensional wall hangings instead. I'm talking about pieces that use raised stitches, like the popcorn stitch or the bobble stitch, arranged so the whole piece has hills and valleys instead of being completely flat. When light hits a flat doily, it just looks like a circle of thread. But when light hits a piece with raised texture, it creates shadows, and shadows are what catch the human eye. Your brain is wired to notice depth before it notices color. So even if you use a plain white or cream yarn, a textured wall hanging is going to grab attention before a plain flat piece ever will. For 2026, the trend is leaning toward neutral, earthy tones, things like terracotta, sage green, and soft oatmeal, paired with that raised texture. It feels natural, it feels expensive, and it costs you basically the same amount of yarn as anything else you'd make. Next, let's talk about plant hangers, but not the basic ones you see everywhere. Everyone has seen a simple macrame-style plant hanger by now. It's not new anymore. What's actually catching attention this year is plant hangers with a mixed stitch pattern, where you combine open lacy sections with tight solid sections. This creates contrast within a single piece, and contrast is another thing that pulls the eye in. Add a wooden bead or two along the cords, and suddenly you've got something that looks like it came from a boutique store, not a craft box. The trick here is to hang it at a height where it's actually at eye level for someone walking in, not tucked up near the ceiling where nobody looks up to see it. Most people hang their plant holders too high because they're worried about the cat or the dog reaching it. But if you want guests to notice it, it needs to live somewhere they naturally look. Now here's one that barely anyone talks about, and it's honestly one of my favorites: layered table runners. Most table runners are one flat strip of fabric or thread that just sits there. But if you crocheted a runner with a raised center line, almost like a spine running down the middle, combined with a slightly different stitch pattern on each side, it creates this beautiful layered look, like the table itself has dimension to it. When you put a vase or a candle on top, the texture peeks out from behind it instead of disappearing underneath. This is the kind of thing that makes a dinner table look like it belongs in a home magazine instead of a regular house, and it's not even that hard to make once you get the rhythm of the pattern down. Let's move to something a little more unexpected: light covers. Specifically, crochet covers for hanging pendant lights or even simple lampshades. This one might surprise you, but think about it. When a guest walks into a room, what's one of the first things their eyes go to? Light. We're naturally drawn towards light sources. It's just how our eyes work. So if you put a beautifully textured crochet cover over a hanging bulb or a lampshade, you're putting your work directly in the path of where people are already looking. The warm glow coming through the gaps in the stitches creates this soft, almost glowing pattern on the ceiling and walls, and it's genuinely one of the most wow reactions you can get from a single piece. Just make sure you're using a heat-safe placement and not wrapping it directly around a hot bulb. Safety first, always. Here's another one that's having a real moment right now: crochet wreaths, but not just for the holidays. People used to think wreaths were a Christmas-only thing, but the new trend is making wreaths for every season, using crochet flowers, leaves, and even fruit shapes. A spring wreath with little crochet tulips and leaves, or a fall wreath with tiny pumpkins and acorns, instantly signals to anyone walking through your front door that you put thought and care into your space. It's also a smart move because it gives you a reason to make new pieces throughout the year instead of just once during the holidays. Your door becomes a rotating gallery of your skills, and that's the kind of thing neighbors and guests genuinely remember and talk about. Now let's talk about something small that makes a surprisingly big difference. Coasters, but done right. Most coasters are flat little circles or squares, totally forgettable. The upgrade here is using raised stitches again, but this time creating a small border around the edge, almost like a tiny wall around the coaster. Not only does this look more put together, it actually works better too. It helps catch any condensation from a cold glass instead of letting it run straight onto the table. When guests pick up their drink and notice the detail in something as small as a coaster, it tells them you care about details everywhere, not just the big statement pieces. Sometimes the smallest items leave the strongest impression because nobody expects effort to go into something that tiny. So now we've gone through wall hangings, plant holders, table runners, light covers, wreaths, and coasters. That's a lot of options. And here's where I get to the most important part of this whole video, the thing that actually makes all of this work together instead of looking cluttered. You do not need every single one of these in every room. In fact, that's the biggest mistake people make once they start getting good at this. They get excited, they make 10 different pieces, and they put all of them in the same room, and suddenly it goes from elegant to overwhelming. The real secret, the thing that separates a home that looks intentional from a home that looks like a craft fair, is picking one hero piece per room. One statement item that gets all the attention, surrounded by simple, quiet elements that support it instead of competing with it. If your living room has a stunning textured wall hanging, keep the rest of that room simple. Plain cushions, plain throws, nothing else fighting for attention. Let that one piece be the star. Then in your dining room, maybe the table runner becomes the hero and everything else stays minimal. This is exactly how design magazines and high-end homes do it, and it's the single biggest reason some crochet work gets noticed, while other work, even really skilled work, gets completely ignored. Think about it this way. If everyone in a room is shouting, you can't hear anyone clearly. But if one person speaks calmly while everyone else stays quiet, that's the voice you remember. Your crochet pieces work the exact same way inside a room. So here's how I'd put this all together if I were starting fresh this year. Pick the room your guests spend the most time in. That's usually the living room or the entryway. Choose one piece from everything we talked about today, maybe that textured wall hanging or that seasonal wreath by the door, and make that your hero piece. Use a color that stands out just slightly from your walls, not matching exactly, but not clashing either, just enough contrast to draw the eye. Then keep everything else around it simple and calm. Once that one piece is in place and you start hearing people comment on it, that's your sign to move on to the next room and repeat the process. This approach is slower than just making a bunch of stuff and scattering it everywhere, I'll be honest about that, but slower and noticed beats fast and ignored every single time.